went to see The Predator on Friday, and oh boy, it is even dumber, stupider, and more nonsensical than I expected. So instead, I'm going to talk about the new Netflix original animated movie, Next Gen. Initially, I wasn't interested in this movie because the trailer looked very children-oriented, but my girlfriend convinced me to watch it anyway. There are two things, though, that were appealing to me. One, robots. I like robots. And two, the whole movie was made in Blender, which, if you don't know, is a free open source 3D modeling program. So, is this another Netflix success, or will it join one of their stinkers? Let us find out. The story revolves around a young girl called May, who had her father walk out on her at an early age, and ever since, she had a problem connecting with other people and letting them close. She particularly hates robots because the only way her mother could cope with her husband leaving her was to surround herself with robots as a distraction. During the showing of a new series of robots, imagine an Apple conference, May runs into a top-secret robot, serial number 7723. The only thing we know about 7723, I'ma call it Bubba, the robot from now on for simplicity, is that it's designed with a lot of heavy firepower. For some reason, Bubba decides to be friends with May and shenanigans ensue. I'm not gonna say much else so as not to spoil anything, but it's a typical bad guy wants to take over the world and May has to overcome her hatred for robots and become friends with Bubba to stop him. It's a story that serves the movie even though you will see all the twists coming, of which there are actually none. Now, let me not beat around the bush. I did not like this movie, and the culprit or culprits are the characters. This is where you realize that this movie is obviously not for adults. I have no problem with suspending my disbelief for the sake of a story, but oh my god, these characters are horrible. Let's not even start with May. Let's start with her mother, who totally neglects her like all the time. And I understand they wanted to emphasize the lengths she goes to as not to have to deal with her husband leaving her, but this woman's neglect is straight up criminal. She loses May out of sight for hours and doesn't even realize she was gone. When she returns, she barely acknowledges that, and she doesn't know that her daughter is around or not. Children with ADD, a negative attention span, and the latest video game pay more attention to their parents than this woman did to her child. Another example, May's bullies. They actually instruct their robots to beat her up, which they do without a problem. I guess we just chuck Asimov's laws of robotics straight out the window. And then let's talk about May, the protagonist. It is rare that you watch a movie where you dislike and don't wanna root for the main character. And those are usually serious dramas where you come out with an uneasy feeling. Not a children's movie, but May is a vengeful, negative, selfish character who doesn't seem to learn anything throughout the whole movie. She misuses Bubba to the fullest, at one point forcing him to beat up the girls who were bullying her, actually uttering the phrase, "beat her up or do something." I understand the writers wanted to take her down a dark path so she has a nice redemption arc, but for me, her actions made her almost unredeemable, at least from the point of a children's movie. Later on, she blames Bubba for circumstances that he can't control. It's only in the last 10 minutes of the movie that she actually starts showing some character arc towards a positive thing. Now let's also talk a little bit about Bubba. His whole obsession with being friends with May is absolutely weird as well, since she was acting like a total jerk from the beginning all the way up to the aforementioned final 10 minutes. And I feel the filmmakers made a flaw by giving Bubba a voice. WALL-E and Big Hero 6 were such charming and beloved movies because the characters were silent. And Bubba actually has the same charming characteristics with the big, cute, expressive face, but that gets ruined every time he is talking. The movie would have been much better served if with him as a silent protagonist. And on that note, May's dog had the same issue. In the beginning, I thought he would be like, hey, Juana's mentally challenged chicken. But then they gave him a voice as well, which ruined it a bit for me. He's still a cute puppy and probably the best out of all the characters. And I'm not even gonna mention the bad guy because he's just pure cliché. In the last parts of my reviews, I like to talk a little bit about action, which here was fine. Actually more than fine, I really enjoyed it. Having a lot of disposable robots, we have a lot of cool robot carnage and destruction. Well, actually a really cute robot Carnage and Destruction. But the choreography of Bubba is also really well done, the fighting choreography I mean. Let me also address why I was excited about this being made in Blender. Imagine Blender as a free software that was made by people from all over the world. And then they make a whole movie with it. It looks really great when you look at it with this lens. Of course, it's not as polished as a big studio name, and after all it was made for Netflix, which technically counts as a TV movie. The backgrounds were a little bit barren, especially during the big fight scenes, and even other than that, I did see many of the simple paints in the backgrounds as just matte paintings. But that is only my hypersensitive eye. I think for a movie that was created with Blender, they did a fantastic job on the technical side. So, what is my final verdict? Well, you already know. As I said, I didn't like it. I would let it run in the background because it's pretty, but I wouldn't want my children to be exposed to such a horrible role model, so I would probably just let it go with the audio turned off. But yeah, that was my opinion. I'm not a professional film critic, I'm just a dude who likes to talk about movies while drawing sometimes. But still, let me hear what you thought of the movie in the comment section below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, or dislike if you hated it. And consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. You can follow me on Instagram for more drawing related stuff, but as always, wish you a great day and see you folks next time. Bye bye!